In the beginning of the Pompillio's trilogy, we learned about the Pontiac Aztec warrior and how he ended up on To Catch a Predator, why he got out of having a seat with Chris Hansen. We also shared some fun facts about Pompillio's, ordered some of their sauces, and then we went out to the Swingers Club and made the rigatoni bolognese with the bolognese sauce. But we didn't stop there. I realized I could have had 2 pastas. And that's when I went back to the Swingers Club and recreated their chicken cacciatore using the Pompillio's Marinara Classico. Just as I was getting ready for dinner, the Bears finally caught up with Jim Rauch and sent him to Incarceration Island.
I know, but on the outside of it, people look at it, they don't see it.
But you have feelings. I mean, you'd be inhuman if you didn't have feelings.
Tonight's recipe is about feelings and trying to help someone make Pompillio seafood ravioli with their so Italian puttanesca sauce.
I really wanted to help.
Here's the lesson that you need to learn. Us guys like to use semolina flour when we make our pasta dough.
I don't think so.
Begin with 600 grams of semolina flour and 6 whole eggs. Give me a KitchenAid, and I'll find ways to make the pasta dough.
Okay. We'll go from there, okay?
Bottom line is, I'm gonna find where the
Pompillio's?
I put my paddle. I'm gonna add the ingredients to my KitchenAid, and I'm gonna mix the flour and the eggs together for a couple minutes on speed 1. If it's a little crumbly, go ahead and add a little bit of vodka tonic. Next, search the
Pompillio's
car and find the dough hook.
What do you need? Where do we go from there? What?
Knead the dough for a couple minutes on speed 1. Once again, if the dough is still a bit crumbly, add another splash of vodka tonic. And knead the dough for another minute on speed 1. Possibly speed 2.
Does that make sense?
Knead the dough by hand on the counter. Push down a little bit. And move up and down, pushing in the dough a little bit.
Does that what kind of when the condoms come into play?
Were the what?
Condoms? I prefer to use cling wrap.
Am I confusing you?
Wrap your dough airtight and let it sit on the counter for 20 minutes.
I don't care. I'm going to piss on your petunias.
This is what a pasta dough looks like.
Okay.
Knead the dough again to get the gluten to loosen up. I could tell it was very guarded. I just wanted to, really get that corner into the pasta dough, which will now stay in the refrigerator overnight.
Okay.
Am I spending that in Jim?
Afraid so, groomer. Have a good night. Hope the bears don't bite.
I don't care. I'm going to piss on your petunias.
Begin the morning by taking the pasta dough out of the refrigerator. Fill your tires with air, and go on a scavenger hunt to get some seafood. The Pompillio's recipe actually calls for 2 types of seafood, scallops and clams. Antonio's wine and liquor was all out of clams. I went with scallops and haddock instead. And now, we can get ready to get on the road with this recipe and cook our seafood.
Do what you have to do.
Fulfill a need for haddock by preheating the oven to 350 degrees.
Hey, you can help me.
But the thing is,
Yes.
we need to spray a baking sheet with cooking spray.
Okay.
Cut the haddock into 6 fillets.
What's that road?
Add the juice from 1 lemon.
I gotta piss, though.
Season with salt and pepper.
God, I gotta piss bad.
Add a tablespoon of olive oil.
Does that make sense?
A shake of cayenne for Chef John.
I gotta piss, though. God, I gotta
And mix
piss
the
bad.
fish together big as day.
You're supposed to laugh, damn
I'm
it.
gonna fill up my baking sheet with haddock and let it bake in the oven for 13 minutes.
13?
With this next ingredient, I'm just trying to be careful. I know how poorly cooked scallops taste and how they screw around with you. If we mess these up, we'll be down a dead-end street.
And I don't do this. I don't, number one, I don't really want to.
It's really important to entice the scallops to the point of cooking just right. To do that, preheat a skillet to just a mustache above medium and fulfill a need for olive oil.
Okay.
Add some salt and pepper. Mix the scallops together through Yahoo and add them to the preheated skillet.
Okay.
After letting them sear for 3 minutes, flip them over and repeat. But keep an eye on these, because if these burn,
We're just crying like shit.
this is what a seafood looks like.
I don't think so.
Maybe your mother wants to see it too.
I don't care. I don't want to be involved in a whole bunch of legal shit.
I'm just really looking for a way to make some ravioli filling.
Does that make sense?
And to do that, we begin with 4 cups of ricotta cheese, enough granulated garlic to get loose, some of our Pompillio So Italian spice blend,
So Italian, so Italian.
2 cups of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, and 2 eggs. Cooking isn't so bad. It's a lot of mixing.
I gotta piss though. God, I gotta piss bad.
Add the haddock from earlier, along with the scallops. Stick your hands in the ravioli filling and mix like before. Now that we got our ravioli filling ready, it's time to shape our pasta ball into raviolis. Well, it's a little more intuitive than you think.
Oh, God. Another case. Another case.
I had no idea how time-consuming and how much work goes into rolling your own pasta dough by hand until making this video.
Does that make sense?
At one point, I thought the chances of Jim making it to the Sting House was greater than me getting this done.
I don't think so.
I was flustered big as day.
Relax.
Okay, get ready to get on the road by dividing the pasta dough into smaller sections. Pick a section and roll the dough as thin as possible. Trying to piss and roll a pasta at the same time? It doesn't work.
I'm sorry, where what?
Fold the dough in half and roll the dough as thin as possible once again. Do this step 13 times.
13?
You're supposed to laugh, damn it. It's a joke.
Okay.
3 times will be
Okay.
sufficient. If you are going to try this at home, I recommend 2 things: a pasta machine and a ravioli cutter. Luckily for me, Pompillio's gives you a free ravioli cutter with the purchase of every jar of sauce.
And therefore,
Use the free ravioli cutter to cut the pasta shapes as we get ready for our own levels of intensity.
what do you need? Where do we go from there? What?
Fulfill a need for an egg wash. Take 2 eggs, a splash of vodka tonic, and whisk this together in a cavalier fashion.
And again,
Paint the edges of the raviolis with the egg wash.
Okay, until I have to get over here. Oh!
Fill up the raviolis for real. And look, it fits right in there. Use a fork to seal the edges, otherwise, it explodes right in there. And we're crying like shit.
I don't care. I'm gonna piss on your petunias.
We got our seafood raviolis ready, and now we're getting ready to get on the road.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
We
I'll
need
do
to
that.
make arrangements for this pot. Begin with half a gallon of water. Next, add some salt, and bring that pot shit to a boil.
it just aggravates it. Yeah.
Now to find out if I can do what we're talking about.
I'm driving. You got me?
Begin by adding 13 raviolis to the aggravated water.
13?
They should take about 10 minutes to cook.
What?
You'll know when they're done because they will float to the top in a cavalier fashion.
I have to piss.
Drain the pasta carefully, even if you have more intentions of hurting yourself. I didn't know if I could ever do it, but now that the seafood ravioli is complete, it's time to warm up the final sauce in the Pompillio's trilogy.
Yes. I'm going to piss on your Pompillios.
Warm up a skillet over medium heat and add the puttanesca. It's the right thing to do, and it should be applauded.
Can you hold on for a second while I piss my brains out?
No, because that implies that you had brains to piss out.
Okay, I'll stop out here. Come and get me.
Grab a champagne-colored plate and start plating the seafood ravioli. That's thing 1. Thing 2. Put the puttanesca in places where it will have a connection with the ravioli.
I'm down here and the bears are looking for my Pompillios.
All that's left to do now is stop at Rhino's and grab a vodka tonic. This is what a seafood ravioli with Pompillio's puttanesca sauce looks like. The seafood ravioli is the perfect dish to make for the girlfriend you only see on the weekends. And for the George down the hall. Here's a close-up so you can get a better look at it. And now that we're at the end of the Pompillio's trilogy, you're probably wondering if you should try these sauces for yourself.
It's a question.
My order came from the bridge within 4 days.
Okay.
The mason jars can be repurposed as flower vases.
Okay, I'll do that.
The lids can be used as ravioli cutters. And you get to be the Pompillio Papa of your personal swingers club.
Yes. I'm going to piss on your
Thank you for joining me for the final installment of the Pompillio's trilogy. If you like what you see, consider subscribing and ringing that bell.
What?
And if you want to see another Pompillio's recipe in the future, let me know in the comment room.
Okay.
And remember,
I'm driving. You got me?
bye, sweethearts.